student housing. I'll pass it over to Sarai Rashan.
Hello, I'm Sarai Beltran. I'm one of the housing occupancy analysts, and I'll pass it on to Roshan.
Hi, I'm Rashawn Jayasinghe, and I'm also an LCSP analyst for housing.
And I think I'm last. Hi, I'm Crystal McIntyre, she, hers pronouns, and I'm our other assistant director in residence life.
All right, so we know that there's going to be some questions about La Playa, but we need to go through some of our general content first. And so please hold those questions at the end, and we'll answer those more specifically. So we're going to go ahead and turn it over to Crystal to talk about move-in.
All right, so this is what we'll be going over in our presentation today. I'll be going over our move-in overview, and then I'll be passing over to Hannah to go over our beach days overview, and then we'll go up next with what happens next, our next steps in the process, and then Q&A at the end. Our student housing website is up to date with all this information. There's two icons to look for. That's move-in approaching and beach days. Both icons lead you to websites that have the information that we'll be going over today as well. But to start out, our move-in days this year will be Thursday, August 20th, Friday, August 21st, and Sunday, August 23rd. Sunday will be for La Playa, and then Thursday and Friday are based off of what building and floor the resident is located at. So move-in appointments, residents should have signed up for their move-in appointment based off of their assignment. Once they arrive to campus during their move-in time, they actually head straight to their building to check in, and staff will be activating their key card once they get checked in, and they'll be able to begin moving in right away. Like I mentioned in the previous slide, all of this information is up to date on our student housing website, but we also encourage them to check their student email regularly because we do provide updates and information there regularly as well. And then student ID. Students will need their student ID, their CSULB student ID to be able to access their student room. If they did not get one at SOAR, we will have ID card services at the housing office and at Beachside Village on Thursday and Friday and Sunday to do reprints, as well as the bookstore is open those days as well, and they are able to print new ID cards as well. So volunteers, we will have a limited amount of volunteers in all of our areas for move-in. They will be wearing bright yellow shirts that say volunteer right on the back. They are able to assist with unloading your car, helping carry stuff in, helping push moving carts. And they really should be coming up to you and offering their assistance. But if you see one available, feel free to ask them to assist you. That is what they're there for. And then moving carts. We do have a limited number of moving carts available for move-in days. You are encouraged to bring your own as well. They can be checked out to residents only, not friends or family. And they will need to provide a photo ID, not their CSULB ID, to be able to rent a moving cart. The reason they can't use their CSULB ID for this is because that is their key to get into their rooms. They will need to bring either a driver's license, a different form of photo ID to be able to rent a moving cart. And then the rental for those carts will be at each service center. So each area will have that available to them. So as you prepare for move-in day, once you arrive to campus, if you are arriving during the assigned move-in time that you picked, you will head straight to your building to check in. If you arrive outside of your move-in time, so if you have to arrive later or a different day, you will check in at your village service center, and they are open every day until 10 p.m. You will then check in with a staff member, provide them your student information. They will check you in on our back end, and that is what activates your card to be able to begin moving in. And then we recommend you go back to your car and begin loading up the items. We recommend you come in first and check in before going out to get your items, just in case there's a line or in case you need to go get a new ID or anything. That way you're not stuck with all your items just lingering. And then parking is free only on move-in days in certain lots. So that information is listed here. We will have it on social media and on our website as well, but it is all the lots that are directly surrounding the residence halls. It does not include the parking garage or if you go up to different areas of campus, but all the areas surrounding the residence halls will be free parking on those specific move-in days. And then we do recommend residents purchase their fall resident permits before arriving to campus, as they will need to be activated before parking is no longer free. What to bring and leave, this information is on our website as well, but in each room, we do provide per person an extra long twin bed mattress, a dresser, a desk and chair, a closet and mirror. And then per room, we do provide a micro fridge, which is a combination refrigerator, freezer, and microwave, as well as wastebasket and recycling bins. We do have a full list on our community living guide of prohibited items, but just some of the commonly prohibited items are e-scooters, e-bikes, air conditioners, swamp coolers, candles, lava lamps, large flags, and tapestries for the walls, fridge and microwaves outside of the one that is provided, or extension cords that are not surge protected.
And I just want to really re-emphasize the electric scooters and e-bikes are not permitted within the residence halls. We have a lot of students who go through conduct because they don't pay attention to that piece. So just asking that you don't send your student to school with those.
Alrighty, I lost my mouse there for a second. Now to talk about beach days. So, what are beach days? It is not a trip to the beach. You don't need to pack a swimsuit or, an umbrella. Beach days are our welcome to the beach. And so it serves as a welcome to campus and kickoff to living here. We know that our campus partners will host events that first week or two of school to really acclimate students to campus. But our students here are here a couple days before that, and we want to make sure there's some good fun and educational stuff for them to go through. Stuff that helps them, feel independent and empowered, but also connects them to their neighbors and to the campus community. Beach days are also, I will say upfront, not the end of any of our fun. Each year we host over 400 events across all of our different buildings and areas and Residence Hall Association. And so with that, we also collaborate with campus partners and promote other events that campus partners host. So I believe we are the second biggest programmer on campus behind our Associated Students. And so we put a lot of emphasis on that first 6 weeks, especially. So if a student moves in, maybe they are on a cruise right now, you're very jealous of them and they can't move in until that Monday or Tuesday because their classes don't start till later in the week. There is still plenty of fun to catch them up. And then I have a quote here. I was looking for various quotes we have from students, but we have a previous student that said, living on campus at CSULB is honestly the best. I love being so close to my friends, classes, and all the fun stuff happening around. There's always something going on and it just feels super alive here. So how to participate in beach days? It really is as simple as just showing up. Beach days are for our residential students first and foremost. And so residents will sign in at each event using that same student ID card. So we know that if you are more of a commuter student, a lot of students will sometimes even, they'll lose their ID card and never replace it because they don't have a day-to-day need for it. Our students use it not only as their room key, but to get into the dining halls as well as to sign in for events. They'll swipe their ID card or tap their ID card. We'll also be sending out a waiver for beach days, which is just a participation waiver. Our website for beach days has more information if you're a student or yourself, if you're a student joining us. If you are under 18, the day of move-in, the day of beach days, if you turn 18 3 days into move-in beach days, you'll need to make sure a parent or guardian also signs the waiver for you. And that will be emailed out. We're looking at tomorrow, if not Monday. Some mandatory events, which we have listed online and will be all emailed out for reference. We have an online Canvas course. We started this last year and have worked really hard to build this out. And it really serves as an onboarding and orientation to campus. So it goes over policies, fire safety, like where to evacuate if there's an emergency, who to contact, so how to get in contact with your area coordinator and your RA, your residential life coordinator as well, ways to get involved and get connected to campus, as well as those various policy information, what to do when you're locked out. And so we know moving into housing and then having a bit of homework isn't the most fun idea, and it is the best way that we can get students acclimated to campus, have them have reference materials to look at throughout the year if they need to, and it also allows them to get into Canvas, which they'll use for most of their classes, and so as a way for them to poke around in Canvas before first day of school. Other mandatory events include Zero Shades of Grey, which is our consent education performance. We hire in a group of folks that come in and do a very interactive and lighthearted performance with various videos and call and response moments that teach them about consent and how to be an active member of the community, supporting someone that's gone through something horrible, and connecting to campus resources if needed. Those rotations are based on building placement, and this year we're also offering for any students returning to the halls a secondary session from Zero Shades of Gray to Zero Shades Darker, which is a little bit more intimate and goes a little bit deeper, not just understanding consent, but how do we build a brave space on campus, not just a safe space. So how do we be brave enough to stand up and say no to harmful behavior and be active participants in community. We also will have welcome community meetings starting that Monday night. Those will vary by community and RA schedules. If a student's unable to make their specific community meeting hosted by their RA, they will be able to attend a different RA session and can just connect with their RA after moving in. And then any of the residents in one of our 6 thematic communities will also be getting an email with information about their thematic community orientation, which is where we welcome students to the thematic community, set some expectations, and get them connected in with different resources for that specific community. Some general advice for beach days. We recommend looking at the schedule in advance. We'll have posters printed everywhere with the schedule. Again, the website's a resource. And we do a lot of timely updates on our Instagram. We'll do like a daily blast on there highlighting the events going on for the day. But looking at it in advance allows you to, build up a little bit of fun. It's like looking at the map at Disneyland before you go and seeing what you might want to take advantage of. We really encourage students to go to events outside of the mandatory ones, even if it means going alone. And so this is the time of year we have, as of this year, over 3,000 or around 3,600 students. All 3,600 of those students, not all of them have built-in friends already. And so people will be going to stuff alone and may need to be the brave one, even if they're not normally extroverted, to just knock on the door of their neighbors or hear people out in the hallway and say, hey, I'm going to head over to casino night or to bingo. Do y'all want to come along? Or, hey, I'm going to head to lunch at the dining hall. Do you all want to come eat with me? We find a lot of our residents build relationships that way, or just walking up to someone also sitting alone in the dining hall and striking up a conversation. In the dining hall, we'll also have little table topic conversation starters to make use of, which we've even seen students be a little ironic and be like, oh, hey, let me ask this question to you. And then a conversation gets started. We also really try to live by be scared and do it anyway. We know it can be a very nerve-wracking experience coming to college, whether you're there a first-year student, first-time transfer student, or even a returning resident looking to build a new community for their second or third year living on campus. And so we hope that they can lean into that fear a little bit and know that it's not about not being afraid, but being able to build those resiliency skills to step out of their comfort zone and experience something new. We tell them to also chat with their RA about different events and opportunities they'd like to see during the year. And so if there is something, maybe they really enjoyed bingo, but think like a specific themed bingo night would be fun. Our RAs host programs every few weeks in their communities. And there's, like that resident even said, there's always something going on, and we're more than happy to make those things happen. And then everyone is new, even if they're a returning resident, they're new to this, variation and era of the halls that they live in. And so we really recommend just saying hello, have a smile, do a little wave. We know it's going to be awkward, and that is completely okay. So overall, the big schedule is on our website, but we know that there's going to be questions, and so wanted to make some time for that. And so just wanted to go over kind of the big events that we like to promote. And so first and foremost is our bookstore bash. The bookstore will be open, I believe, 8 to 5, maybe a little bit later. You'll have to check their website during the move-in days and that weekend. But we have a special event happening from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in front of the bookstore. And that includes discounts on the family gear. So if you want that like CSULB mom swag, different technology discounts, they'll have different samples. as well as prizes, a DJ. Red Bull is usually there, handing out stuff, gifts with purchase, and then it's also a chance just to see the campus outside of housing, and is a really fun time. We bring out from 11 to 2 various campus partners. So I know we have, I believe we have parking and transportation, as well as our Office of Belonging and Inclusion, intramural, some other campus offices that will be out tabling, getting some information to students and getting them connected to campus. We do have like a week of welcome tabling event that happens week 2 of the semester, but this is a chance to get connected a little bit earlier. Outside of that, Friday night, we'll have our village block parties. The next morning, we'll do morning mindfulness. Sorry for the typo there. For any students that are looking to, it starts at 9 a.m. So if we have early risers that just want a chance to like peacefully come and mingle, sometimes it's a craft, sometimes it's actual meditation. And it's a great chance to just have a nice, easy start to the day. Major Mingle is an event we do at our dining halls that happens at all 3 dining locations. And we have students have color-coded name tags based on their academic college and can meet new people that they may or may not have classes with, create study groups or people to, hop on the shuttle with when they're headed to their Tuesday lab, whatever that looks like for them. Our rec center campus partner hosts a big pool party for us with popsicles. The rock wall is open, massage chairs. They have a lot of fun over there, especially beating the heat if it's hot. We do a bingo, as I mentioned before. This year, we're bringing in a Dungeons and Dragons meetup, so just a chance for our students that enjoy that type of tabletop role play game to connect with one another, find a new adventuring party, or if they're wanting to try D&D for the first time. Speed friending, casino night, and more. And I believe that is it from us. If there are questions in the chat.
Thank you so much. I know there are questions that have been put into the Q&A. Maybe if we can read some of those out loud, just so it's on the recording and just so folks can have that information as well, just so it's reiterated, that would be appreciated. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I saw one that just came in and can answer to it because it'll be a big one. Some years for move-in, we get really lucky with like 75 degrees and a little breezy out. And other years, it's the beginning of that like August, September heat wave season. But most of our buildings do not have air conditioning. And that's not even just for housing, that's actually across campus. All of our rooms have fans. But any rooms in our standard housing actually do not have air conditioning within the room units. They have air-conditioned lounges, though. We do recommend students get their own fan if they'd like, and even our team makes use of little neck fans or cooling tubes, cooling towels during those move-in and beach days, especially if you're going to be carrying boxes. Which leads me to another point. Most of our buildings also don't have elevators, and so it will be a day of like carrying things up and down stairs. And if you have concerns about that, please reach out and we can talk about the ways. We've had students before who they don't need that accommodation, but maybe they have a family member that can't make it up a staircase. And so we can make sure we get volunteers connected with you all to get stuff upstairs. I am seeing questions about move-in appointment. Students can look in their housing portal to see their move-in time slot where they can select their date and time. And then it's assigned by building, which is on the move-in website as well. Residence halls are open when campus is closed. There is a fee during winter break. Fall and spring typically is not pay to stay. They're open, but the dining halls are not open during that time. Winter break is pay to stay on a weekly basis with $250 per week, and the dining halls are not open at that time.
And for those who are joining us late, we are going to talk about LaPlaya specific questions kind of at the end. Right now, we want to answer all the general questions that folks have.
We do have water stations within the buildings, usually located near the lounge areas, and we'll have some extra water stations during move-in to make sure folks are staying hydrated. We really do recommend people bring their own water bottles, especially students that are moving in. It's a really easy thing to forget to pack, but it will be very helpful navigating campus where we do have plenty of water fill stations around. The move-in free parking doesn't have a specific limit on cars. Now, we ask you don't bring a fleet of 20 of them to move in one student, but the parking is free in those specific lots during move-in days. I see some questions about mail as well. We ask that to not send mail before they move in, and that's because our tracking system, we can actually only track mail and input mail for current residents. And so to make sure things are not getting returned to sender, we asked to wait until folks are here on campus, but I believe Fatu in the chat just put the link to our website where those mailing addresses can be found. For any family members, loved ones on this call, please make sure to look at how to write the address. You need to make sure you have the building and room number, and we ask that you use the student's legal name that's on file with the university. And so my grandma calls me Hanny. If it says Hanny on my package and nothing else, it's probably not getting to me. Our staff will sometimes do their due diligence and try to be like, okay, maybe Hanny is Hannah and it has the right room number, but it's not always clear. And room numbers are very important because sometimes we have folks with the same name. A couple years ago, we had students that had the same like Joe Smith name living in the same building, just by the way the cards fell. And so making sure room numbers were important was really crucial for our team getting mail delivered correctly. Dining hall will be open during move-in and beach days. That information, I'm waiting on one piece of confirmation before we get it up on the beach days website, but will be open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That Friday of move-in, just with how much is going on, breakfast and lunch are typically like grab and go type of items, some like wraps. There's a really good like turkey cranberry one that I hope they bring back this year. Some fruit and like easy grab and go things, which is really helpful if it is a little hot out. And then there's a hot dinner that Friday night as well. I will also plug that we have Amazon lockers up on main campus. And so that is also an option if you are getting something delivered through Amazon, is going through those Amazon lockers. What you'll do is instead of inputting an address, you'll do like Amazon locker pickup, or Amazon lockers is usually an option, and you'll do Amazon at the beach. And then the hour time slot for move-in is not 1 hour to move in everything. It's just that hour that you'll physically check in at the hall. What we really do ask to make your move-in experience the most efficient, as Crystal mentioned before, go to your building, have your student there with their student ID, have them check in before you unpack anything from the car. Then do any loads you need, get things from the car to the room. I know some folks will bring in like one box and set up the bed and then go back for a couple more boxes, but we really do find it's easiest to just kind of do it all in one swing, 1 or 2 trips, get everything in there, and then start to unpack. We ask that after you unpack your boxes and stuff, if your car's up front, that you are a kind neighbor to our other students and move your car further back in the lots so that folks can also have an easier time unloading their boxes and such. Let's see here. I see a question about how late parents can stay to help on move-in day. We have a guest policy that's published on our community living guide website. There is no cutoff. There is no, if you're here till 2 a.m. with your student, that is your business. What we do ask is to make sure students are communicating with their roommates about any guests and folks that are around. And so if you and your student have already decided, speaking to any parents or guardians in the chat, like, oh, I'm going to sleep on your floor on move-in day, there's another person living in the room. So let's make sure we run that by them to make sure they're comfortable with that. On our slides, we didn't talk about roommate agreements, but starting on Sunday of move-in weekend, roommate agreements will become available for students to start filling out. And that's actually part of their Canvas module. They'll go through a small module to learn how to best fill out a roommate agreement and to come up with agreements that work for all parties involved, whether they're living in a double or a triple. We've seen a lot of creative uses for different wagons too, and dollies. I know Fatu one year saw a dolly that was like built to climb stairs, which made it really easy for that family during move-in. If you do bring a wagon, a dolly, your own cart of sorts, make sure it's labeled, have your, family name on it. If you get a little label or with your phone number or something, just in case someone gets real excited when you're turning the other way. And same with moving carts. When you check out a moving cart from us, someone needs to remain with the cart at all times. Families really love to grab an empty cart when they see it. And so if it's like okay, let's just get this last load up and then we'll return the cart, that cart is not going to be there by the time you make it back down the stairs. If you're on a first floor, I know it's easy to get a cart in and out for the most part. We also make use of the volunteers. And so if you're on the second floor, the cart can't go up there anyway. Grab a volunteer or two and have them help carry some boxes. We have volunteers, as Crystal mentioned, from all across campus, including some of our athletic teams. And so it's just a strength training day for them. And they are here to help support the beach community. We talk about being one beach. And so it really is where our community comes to life. Let's see. Seeing some folks ask about moving in late. So if they're a day later than the date prescribed by the building, just let us know with your move-in appointment or contact the housing office for more questions. As far as hanging stuff on the wall, Fatu, do you want to speak to that a little bit as far as our facilities and hanging stuff up appropriately?
Yes, be very, very careful if you would please. We try as much as possible to minimize paint chipping and taking things off, but we also want students to be able to decorate their rooms and make it personalized. I have my executive director on here, and so he can counter me if he disagrees. But we have had a facility staff member say they would actually, in some situations, prefer little tacks or little nails versus those 3M strips that will remove big chunks of paint. Again, I will let Eric counter me if he does not agree with that. But just be mindful and careful about that.
That sounds fine.
Oh, look at that. There you go. So it's just a smaller nail hole to fill, less painting. The other thing just to keep in mind, as you're hanging things, per the fire marshal, there can only be a certain percentage of the wall that's covered. So students like to move in and they want to put up these giant, beautiful tapestries and flags, and those actually aren't permitted because if they were to catch on fire, then fall on a student, it's a hazard. So we ask that, put up posters, but don't wallpaper the wall with posters. Hopefully that answers that question for you.
Yeah. I will add in there as well. You're allowed to use command strips or poster putty. The thing with those 3M or adhesive strips is really the removal, which people think like, oh, I can just, tear this off the wall, but you really have to like hold down pressure and pull tightly. It's not always perfect. And so that's what Fatu was speaking to there. Same question, string lights are permitted. What we really do want to prevent is those like LED light strips that are all adhesive on the back. What I've seen students get creative with is putting those on painter's tape. And so putting the painter's tape up, then putting that adhesive on the painter's tape to protect our walls. Because students will start to rip the paint and then they just leave the lights up and then they get charged for damage and for us having to remove something they installed. Nothing hanging from the ceilings. We really ask as students maybe looking at like Pinterest or Instagram for decor ideas, especially if you're looking at any schools in the South. Where they get real creative and real pretty catalog-y. Make sure to, whatever decor plans, inspiration boards are being created, pull up our community living guide and cross-reference. So as Fatu mentioned, no large flags or tapestries, nothing hanging from the ceiling, 10% wall coverage. And so that's where we find people where they have these beautiful like postcards from all over the world, but it's wallpaper at that point, which is not fire marshal approved. I saw a question as well. Oh, go ahead, Fatu.
I was just saying there's a question about chairs and the desk chairs. And so every room actually comes with a desk chair. So we ask that you don't bring it. You can, but it just makes your room that much crowded because we will not remove furniture from your room. So you can go to our website, but every room comes with a desk, a chair, a bed, trash can, dresser drawers. The other thing to just keep in mind is Target and some of these other big box stores have beautiful things that they say are dorm friendly, please check the what not to bring guide just to make sure it is actually permitted on our campus. And that applies for any university, making sure that you're in compliance. You're doing a great job, Hannah. I'm going to let you keep going unless somebody else wants to jump in there.
But you're muted.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I was talking while you said that. Um, our website here, we have our move-in and beach days. These images are linked, so you can click on that and it should go to our move-in or beach days web pages. And then we actually have under our communities guide, living on campus, community living guide. This page was just updated as of yesterday. And so you can click on these hyperlinks up here with different resources, community standards, living on campus. We talk here about making sure students keep their ID just to them. And so, especially during move-in days, they'll pass their own ID cards, maybe best friends running out to the car to grab something, just take my ID. We really need IDs to stay with the students because throughout the year, guests must be escorted. And so we don't want folks to get in the habit of that. Have some information about our health and safety inspections, but this is just a good website to read through, as well as room furniture, as Fatu spoke to, different damage charges, and different amenities we have across our communities.
There's a couple questions about like storage. I don't know. I don't recall if they're like dimensions of what people, how much space they have under the bed.
Yeah, so we actually have an Instagram post up that does talk about space under the bed. La Playa is not in that post, but should mirror Parkside North as far as bed height goes. Our Instagram, it will also soon be having our 10 days till move-in countdown with a lot of last minute information. But we have information about moving boxes. Folks have also really made use of those giant move-in totes because you can buy them, they're reusable. Fold them up and slide them in a drawer or under the bed. That way you can use them to move out in the spring, which is another part of our website to take a look at is are those important dates, knowing when students need to move out for winter break, as well as we welcome them back in the spring and very quickly are talking about what living on campus next year may or may not look like, off-campus housing resources, and then their move out day in May. But yes, we have a recent post about bedding and storage measurements. A lot of students will also bring different little drawer sets and things that can tuck under their bed or in their closet. We see that quite frequently. And I even just saw a student who got a little caddy to go over the micro fridge in the room. So as of this year, all of our students have a micro fridge unit in their room that is to share across all roommates living in the room. And so that is a microwave, a small freezer, and fridge combo that they can use and split up amongst themselves. Additional microwaves, different appliances, and mini fridges are not allowed or permitted. And so that is something that we need to make sure if you have already bought a mini fridge, get that return slip and get ready to return it. As well as air fryers are the big ones. I feel like air fryers and rice cookers, unfortunately, tend to be the appliances most packed that we have to sadly ask them to return home. You are allowed to have like a small coffee machine, a water kettle, blenders with an auto shut off. And so again, looking at that community living guide and packing list, we've also have some other information on our Instagram page about things to bring and not bring. Seeing some questions here about those important contract dates. Those are all on our website. I will go and look now so I do not misspeak to when move out is this year. Move out week will be, or move out day. So students must be moved out by May 15th, 2027 by 11 a.m. And so making sure to have that on the calendar, whatever travel needs to be coordinated. And we will send reminders throughout the year as well.
There's a question about La Playa. If schedule is getting pushed, can we know by next week? I hope we know by next week, but that's not a guarantee, just to let you know. Uh, and we do have a backup plan if it does go past the 23rd. And so we are prepared to put students in different location temporarily. But right now, we're being told that it's going to be open on Sunday the 23rd. We're walking the building tomorrow, and I'll see if I can get a little more current update, and then we'll send that information out. But right now, we're being told it's going to open in a couple of weeks. Okay.
I saw another question in here that I will highlight. Someone asking if campus police is 24/7. We have an actual campus police department. So it's not campus security. It is not just our community service officers, which are all student employees. We have a fully functioning police department here on campus that actually will even go about a mile or two out from campus and help Long Beach police when needed. And so they are 24/7. We work with them consistently to make sure that our campus community is as safe as we can make it. Um, they also will come out for fire alarms. And so part of that Canvas module, just to plug again, is some of our kitchen safety. We have community kitchens located in the Hillside and Parkside Commons that any resident living on campus can use. And so we do have beachside residents that will shuttle on over and make use of those kitchens as well. And we know learning to cook can be a struggle. I say as someone that struggled in my own journey with learning to cook, as I had a big sister that's really good at it, and I didn't have to learn for a long time. And so our campus police help out with a lot of emergency situations and are also, we'll do rounds in our community, walk around, greet students, and we'll do some programming with them as well about alcohol safety, cannabis safety. In the past, we've partnered with them to offer or promote their RAD defense courses and other things that they do for campus.
All right. Any other general questions before we shift over to LaPlaya specific questions?
It looks like we have some questions about windows. Windows aren't sized for a specific window unit fan. Those smaller rectangle ones that have like two fans on them seem to be the ones our students purchase the most. And those we allow not to be installed into the window, but students can lean them up against the window. That is the only thing allowed in the window. I saw some other questions about curtains, blackout curtains. We have students that will put really cute little signs up that are like, hello, be my friend on Instagram, or just, a cute little picture. And to make sure that we're not only remaining content neutral, but safe, we ask nothing be posted or hung up covering our windows. There is a shade that will come down in the room, and then we allow those little fans or box fans to be placed in the window as well. There is a freezer compartment in the fridge. There's not any sort of tint or blurred or anything on the windows, other than just the normal window film and then screens. All the first floor rooms also have safety tags on the screen, and so we can tell if those have been tampered with at all and that the screen is securely in place. They don't need curtains. We provide shades. How can students store valuables in their room? However they feel safest. We do have students who will rent or purchase a safe for their room if they are nervous about that. But most of our students will build a relationship with their roommate, established in trust, and we'll talk about guests as well. So it may be like hey, I'm comfortable leaving my laptop on the desk if it's just you in the room, but let me know if we're having guests over because I'd like to, tuck it in my desk drawer or put it in my safe if that's the case.
Hey, there's a question about window tinting.
Yeah.
And I know Sadai answered that, but we do have window tinting in Beachside. And we're looking to tint windows in iHouse. So we're slowly looking at doing those in areas that don't have AC. So soon to come for some locations.
We are also responsive on Instagram. We don't answer specific questions on Instagram as far as like for your resident account. And so we'll have students reach out saying like, what number am I on the wait list? Or can you remind me of my room number? We'll direct them to the housing portal or to contact the main housing office during business hours. But other questions like we just posted today around the packing list, and we've had students already DMing us about, hey, can I bring this? What about this? Someone asked us, can I bring a candle warmer, right? I'm sure their logic was, well, if I have a candle and I'm not lighting it, it's safe. But we actually don't allow candles at all, so you can't have them in a candle warmer. I know it feels like the safer option, but those are still prohibited. And so if you have any questions, feel free. I know a lot of students are active on Instagram, and so we try to make sure we're student friendly and responsive there as well.
All right. Well, I think we've answered all the general questions. So give us a little bit of time. So if you're a La Playa resident or a parent of a La Playa student and you have questions, go ahead. If you're not in that building, then you can go on about your day. We appreciate you joining us. You can also hang out if you want and you're just nosy, you want to know what's going on. So we'll open up the questions now. Thank you all for coming as the folks are leaving. We appreciate it.
Welcome to the beach.
So I see the backup. The backup plan is we have already reserved some hotel spaces and shuttles to get back and forth from those hotels. The hotels are the Holiday Inn, and I continue to forget the suite's name, the suite that's next door.
Staybridge,
Thank you, Staybridge.
the
Uh,
airport.
and so we reserved a lot of space in those locations, and then we will have shuttles provided, like we do for beachside residents, to go back and forth to campus for meals, for classes, and those type of things.
For beach days, Hannah, you want to take that?
Yeah, so depending on what that move-in looks like, to ask Eric was sharing, figuring out the date the construction company can give us and moving from there, we're looking at what beach day specifically looks like. If La Playa residents are local or are staying locally, if you as a family decide to get a local Airbnb or hotel, residents, even La Playa residents who haven't physically checked into their building yet, are more than welcome to join us for any part of beach days. We have a very, very welcoming campus community. We've even had some commuter students that are like, hey, I'm just really nervous about making friends. Can I like slip into this beach days program and welcome them with wide arms? And so La Playa residents as part of our residential community are more than welcome. And we're looking at, with those contingency plans, what other programming can be offered, as well as I mentioned at the top of our presentation, we do a lot of programming within that first 6 weeks anyway, as well as promoting campus events that are happening to welcome all students to campus. And so we'll make sure that they are targeted promotions to La Playa specifically. La Playa also will have some information sent to them when we know more about their own block party. So in a perfect world, they would be part of the Hillside Block Party as part of Hillside Village, but we'll have a special welcome event for those La Playa students to make sure that they are getting acclimated, getting the chance to meet their staff as well as meet their neighbors throughout their building. The mandatory part of beach days, if that is also a concern, I did see that in the chat earlier. We will work for different excusals and making sure that, especially for Zero Shades of Gray, as that is our like required Title IX education as part of our welcome programming, that we have a contingency plan for that where students will complete their Title IX module required by the university and submit that certificate to us so that we can verify that it was completed. And we do a lot more content programming throughout the year as well. So that won't be the end of those discussions, nor will it be the end of any of the fun, as I mentioned before.
And we
Right, so
encourage you also to have those conversations with your parents before or with your students before they come to school too. So that helps us out quite a bit. Go ahead, Eric. I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, that was it. It was a couple of questions about if a building's open early or if it's ready early. Yeah, we'll notify you, but at this point, we're hoping it opens when it's opening. So just to be transparent about this, somebody also asked, will it be move-in ready? The ask has been heads in beds, make sure the students have place to sleep and bathrooms ready, right? Lounges should be ready during that period. but there could be locations or areas where they're not totally done. So to some degree, there's going to be some continued work on the building and in the building. And we will notify residents, letting them know what's work is happening, what's going on, where they should not probably go. We'll be blocking off those areas. Um, we're really working hard right now to get wash machines in. Furniture is supposed to be delivered tomorrow. Fingers crossed. So again, we're walking the building tomorrow, and hopefully we'll see some continued progress on the building. Um, Sad to say we can't give tours or anything because it is a construction site, but I would love to have done that. But once move-in day is here, you're more than welcome to walk around the building and check it out and see what good things are available.